So how did we get to where we are then?
So first one was Ardnamurchan. That must be more than 10 years ago now, because they're producing their 10-year-old malt.
Really important, yeah.
Then we're on to Lindors and Nicnean around the same time. Then, right up to Benbecula, which has just started production. Some others that are on site, Stannergill or Castletown Mill up at Thurso. I think we've worked something like 70 odd over that time scale.
It's a mad number, isn't it? There's still a lot to go.
Still lots on the drawing board, still new inquiries coming in, so.
And what's the difference between the new inquiries and the people that we started working with, do you think? What sets them apart?
I think now people have learned the lessons of new craft distillers, so like Ardnamurchan and Coloman, I think was around the same time.
Yeah.
Those guys have kind of blazed the trail. People have seen things that have worked, things that haven't maybe worked so well. So you've got clients that have got research to do. Before Ardnamurchan, you were back to 60s, 70s for the previous kind of wave of distilleries. So the lessons from those have kind of been lost, or maybe don't apply to the current markets. And
what, you mean the lessons of traditional distilleries?
well, yeah, I think obviously the market's much different now, like the kind of landscape. You've got your big Asian markets and Indian markets and American market, and I think before, the understanding of those wasn't necessarily there. So the new distillers can look at all of these things that have been done and come up with a much more nuanced business plan of how they want to approach things, like how much money they want to spend on day one. Do they want to have visitors in on day one, or do they want to wait until they're at the point of selling whiskey to maximise what they're getting back from those visitors? Or I think the marketing side is much more nuanced now as well. So you've got people building their brand from day one of, here's what we're thinking of building a distillery in this location.
Yeah.
And you start there, so that by the time you're selling whiskey, people know who you are, know who the characters in the business are and where it is. And
well, a lot of that's PR and social media, isn't it? I mean, that's something that we always advise people before you go public, before your planning application gets lodged. Get a holding page, start to work on the identity, brand the building, brand the product.
Yeah, and I think some clients have got different attitudes to that as well, because we've seen some who kind of embrace that, and they do that. So then by the time they're at year 3 or year 5 and they're selling, they've got some kind of brand loyalty maybe. But then you've got others that are much more, we don't want to tell anyone what we're doing until we've got the whiskey. I think that feels a bit more risky if you come in blank with I've got all this whiskey to sell now.
Yeah.
Who do I sell it to?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're another bottle on a crowded bar. People have to know who you are.
I think some have been amazing. You look Lindors is quite distinctive on the shelf. Nicnean's done a really good job with their kind of marketing, and Ardnamurchan, I genuinely love Ardnamurchan whiskey. But they're kind of well established, I think, in the market, and I say that you've got new ones coming in behind them who can learn those lessons and see how they've got to that point, how they've established themselves.
Yeah.